everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of our live webinar series, proudly brought to you by immigrationquestion.com, your trusted source for real time immigration news, legal insight, and real time conversations with licensed immigration attorneys. My name is Anusya Mukherjee, and I'll be your host for today's session titled From Approval to Insecurity: How to Protect Your SIJ Clients in 2025. Now, Special Immigrant Juvenile (SIJ) status is supposed to offer protection, stability, and a path forward for vulnerable youth in the US. But in 2025, that path isn't as clear as it should be. We're hearing more and more stories of young people stuck in limbo after their SIJ petitions are approved. So, what is really going on? And how can legal professionals and advocates better protect these youth in a system that is increasingly uncertain? And that's what we will be exploring today. And to guide us, we are honored to welcome again Attorney Sonu Lal. Attorney Lal is a seasoned business immigration attorney with over 15 years of experience. He is currently serving as the managing attorney at Gahey and Associates, focused on H-1B, E-1, E-2, green cards, and employer compliances. Admitted to practice in New York and before the U.S. District Courts for the Southern and Eastern Districts, Attorney Lal has successfully handled more than 1,000 cases, earning recognition as Marquez Who Who. Welcome to the show, Attorney Lal. Thank you so much for being with us again today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Before we dive in, a quick but important reminder: ImmigrationQuestion.com is a two-in-one platform that connects users with licensed immigration attorneys. We are not a law firm and we are not affiliated with AILA or USCIS. All legal services are provided independently by attorneys in our network. So, Attorney Lal, before we dive deep, just walk us through the SIJ process, starting with who qualifies and how it leads or doesn't lead to a green card in 2025.
So, SIJ, Special Immigrant Juvenile Status, is for people who are under 21. They have been either abused, neglected, or abandoned by either one or both of their parents. They are in the US. If you qualify those three basic eligibility criteria, you may be eligible for SIG status, which leads to a green card. But important is you should be unmarried at the time of filing, under 21. Even if you are living with one of the parent, the other parent has abandoned you or neglected you, you can still be eligible for SIG. What is the main requirement is you will have to get a juvenile court order from a state court. Every state court in the US has different procedure. For example, in New York, you have to go to the court of guardianship. The court of guardianship, the state court, will issue you a guardianship order. And that's an essential requirement for filing your I-360 SIJ application with USCIS. Once you have that order with you, which means the guardianship court has certified that you qualify all those factors, that you have either been abused, abandoned, or neglected by either one or both of your parents. Once you have that order, you will prepare your petition, which is filed on Form I-360. You will prepare the petition. You will include the basic documents like your ID, passport, the court order, etc. And you will file it with USCIS. You should be at least less than 21 at the time of filing. Even while it is pending, even if you are, because it remains pending forever. Even after filing, if you turn more than 21, that is okay. But at the time of filing, you should be less than 21. Now let's come to the limbo section where people, even after the approval, you cannot get a green card. Why? The reason for that is the SIJ category falls under employment-based EB4 category. Sounds weird, but that's how it is. So this category falls under employment-based EB4 category. Since in the last few years, a lot of applications have been filed under this category, so this category is backlogged at this time for everyone, irrespective of your country of your birth. Now, once you file your SIJ petition, once it is approved, on the approval notice, you will see there is a thing called priority date. Now, at this time, for everybody is backlog. So you have to wait for your priority date to become current. And only when it becomes current, you can file for your green card. Now, the limbo is you have no option, or maybe you cannot get a green card while you wait for your green card. It may take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That nobody knows how long will it take. So now that's a problem with SIG petitions.
Thank you. Uh, one major challenge attorneys face is syncing the timelines between state court orders and USCIS deadlines. What coordination strategies do you recommend to avoid timing issues that could jeopardize the petition?
So there are a couple of issues in this question. Number one, what if you do not have a state court order, but the child or the person from whom you are filing SIJ is about to turn 21? In that case, you have no option but to expedite the process as soon as possible. You have to have get the state order to be able to file I-360 with USCIS. That's one part of it. Another part is what if your client is in immigration court proceedings? What you can do. In my experience, in those cases, most judges across the countries, wherever I have appeared, they are very receptive, very cooperative. If you let the judge know that this person is eligible for filing I-360 and we are working on the state court part of the process, most judges are willing to give you a continuous, they will give you another date, they will give you sufficient time, and during that time, you can have the state court procedure done, have the I-360 file with USCIS, let the court know. Most judges are happy to either admin close or terminate the proceedings from the immigration court.
All right, thank you. Now, for SIJ clients who are unfortunately facing removal proceedings, even after they've been approved, what protections or legal strategies are available to help them stay in the US?
So, in terms of legal strategies, as I said, you can request the court or the DHS attorney to either terminate the case or at least admin close the case. What will happen with that is their immigration court proceedings will either be terminated or at least admin close, meaning there will be no hearing in the immigration court. And parallelly, they can have their I-360 filed. If it is approved and they are waiting for the priority date, they will have to wait for the priority date to become current. Once it is current, they can file for their green card. But strategically, if you are in the immigration court, let the judge know about the status of the case and request for termination.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about vulnerability. Many SIJ recipients are still minors or have only recently turned 18. What extra steps can advocates and attorneys like yourself take to ensure that they don't fall through the cracks during their waiting period?
So normally, if the child is little, maybe a teenager, 12, 13, 11, 14, 15, those cases are fine. Once the child is turned 18 or 19, at that time, attorneys practicing within this space should be very diligent because the state court part in some states might take a lot of time. And you don't want to be in a situation where a child is almost turning 21 and you have nothing from the state court. In that case, you won't be able to file the I-360 before the child turns 21. And if you file it after turning 21, your case will not be approved. So if your client or the child is somewhere within the age of 17, 18, 19, be diligent, have the court process done as soon as possible, and try to file the case as soon as you can.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you very much, Attorney Lau. That has been so enlightening. And I know our audience agrees. To everyone joining us from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, thank you for being here. Whether you're a legal professional, community advocate, or someone just looking to understand this better, we're grateful to have you. We are immigrationquestion.com, a two-in-one platform built with lead and case management features to help simplify the immigration process. Though we are not affiliated with AILA, we are trusted by a lot of AILA attorneys who use our platform. Also, with immigrationquestion.com, you can ask your immigration questions in any language and get connected to a licensed attorney for free or legal guidance. And yes, just like many of our users, you can also receive a free confidential initial consultation. Just visit www.immigrationquestion.com to learn more. And in exciting news, we've just launched our new mobile app designed to help make access even easier, whether you're a user or an attorney. Now, Attorney Lal, since you're a reoccurring attorney, I would like to ask you, since you're also using our MyList software, which is part of Immigration Question, what is one feature you really like about the MyList software as
I
an
think the best part of this platform is normally most softwares either you can use it for business immigration cases or you can use it for removal cases. But these platforms combine the features of both kind of software. Even if you are practicing business immigration or you're practicing removal cases, you can use this software. So that's a great feature of this platform.
Thank you. Now, before we dive into our live Q&A, I want to close this with one last question. Even after approval, SIJ youth are still navigating instability and emotional hardship. What advice would you give to legal teams or community organizations trying to support SIJ youth after approval, especially if there's still a long road ahead?
So if your client turns more than 21 and SIG has been approved and there is a long wait period, meaning you have to wait for a priority date to become current, I would normally advise attorneys to think for an alternative strategy. See if there are other options available to this person or not, so that you don't have to wait for years and years for a priority date to become current. So just look for alternative options if available.
Thank you. Uh, Now we are moving into our live Q&A session. If you've got a question for Attorney Lal, now's your moment. Drop it in the chat or call us live at 516-703-3483. And our first question is, can I get a job with just an SIGIS approval, or do I need to wait for my green card?
So if you have received an EAD, and then you can at least be employable. You can work based on that employment authorization document. You don't have to wait for your green card.
All right, next question is, can I still be deported after an SIJS is approved?
So once it is approved, the government will not deport you. If you have a I-360 approved and you are just waiting for your green card, meaning the priority date to become current, then no.
Right. Next question is, I turned 18 and I'm in New York. Does that mean I missed my chance to apply for an SIJS?
No. So if you turn 18 and you are in New York, just keep in mind that to be eligible for SIJ, you have to be less than 21, not 18. But before you turn 21, you should be not married, have the state court order, meaning the order from the guardianship court, and then file the I-360 along with the court order before you turn 21.
All right, thank you. Next question is, what's the difference between being approved for SIJS and actually having legal status?
So it's a good question. It confuses a lot of people. The approval of SIJ does not per se give you any legal status. Because it's like your immigration petition has been approved, but since the priority date has not been current, you won't be able to file for your green card. Only the Approved green card will give you legal status, not the approved SIG. So technically, even if the SIG is approved, you technically have no legal status.
Thank you. Next question is, can I travel outside the US if I have the SIJS approval?
No, unfortunately, no. So once you file your SIJ, it is approved, priority date is not current. You cannot travel because you do not have anything to return to US, meaning you do not have any documentation. But let's say you have filed your 485 and maybe the dates retrogressed, which means you still have to wait for your priority date to become current to be able to get the green card. But since you've already filed your I-485, you're eligible to get the advance parole. And once you get the advance parole, then yes, then you can travel internationally. And with the advance parole, you can return back to US.
All right, thank you. Next question is, I aged out of foster care and nobody helped me finish my SIJS case. What do I do now?
If if you are already more than 21 and SIJ petition has not been filed, then nothing much you can do. Because since in the question there is no age mentioned, if you are still less than 21, you are still eligible to file SIJ.
All right, thank you. Next question, which is probably our last question. What if my lawyer drops my case before I get a green card? Can I finish it myself?
The question is not very clear, but let's say the lawyer has already filed your I-360, it is pending, and now for whatever reason you are not in touch with your attorney has retired, or whatever reason, what you can do is you can hire another attorney who can help you with the entire remaining process. My normal recommendation is don't try to do on your own. These proceedings are very, very complicated. If for any reason your current attorney is not able to work on your case or is not able to continue with your case, just look for another attorney. Another attorney can help you with the remaining process.
All right, thank you. I think that was our last question. Yes, that was our last question. That was an incredibly insightful session. Thank you again for joining us, and a huge thank you to Attorney Lal for your practical strategies, insight, and compassion you brought to today's discussion. We hope this conversation gave you clarity on the challenges and, more importantly, the solutions that can help SIJ clients in 2025 and beyond. Don't forget, at immigrationquestion.com, you can ask your immigration questions for free and contact a licensed attorney who understands your case. You may also be eligible for a free confidential initial consultation. So head over to our site and sign up today. And if you want to revisit this session or share it with a colleague, you can catch the replay on Spotify. Just search for Borderless Talk by immigrationquestion.com. Also, for all immigration attorneys in the New York City or surrounding areas, you are invited to join our in person event at Long Island City on July 24th. Enjoy the company of like minded professionals over food and drinks while learning how to scale your practice. Head over to our website to RSVP. Join us again on Wednesday on an enlightening conversation on a major immigration issue. You would not want to miss it. Once again, thank you so much, Attorney Lal. It's always nice to have you on our
Thank
show.
you for having me. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.